on the phone line here this morning, calling us from the state capitol, 35th District Representative Drew MacEwen. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Jeff. Sorry I'm a little late getting there.
No worries, no worries. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing well today, looking at some of the things the legislature has been up to. Yesterday, we talked with your counterpart here in the 35th, Dan Griffey. And so first off, we talked about a House vote that was put forth on, I think it was basically saying, well, if we don't get through this McCleary decision, school districts, don't worry, the levy lid cliff, you'll be able to work through this. Now, if that's, I think, the basis of that, Dan voted for it, and he mentioned that you voted against it. Can you tell me why on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. This would be like the Darrell Bevel of all calls for the Seahawks, and you get the kickoff, and you go ahead and you punt on first down. That's what we just did in the legislature, and doing it the third week of session is basically saying we don't think we're ever going to come up with a solution, so we're going to keep deferring this deadline down the road, and I disagree with that. It's for the same reason a year ago I voted against the quote-unquote task force that did not come up with any recommendation. Task force is always a legislative key in for we recognize there's a problem. We don't know how we're going to fix it, but we're going to say we're going to work on it. And it's that same mentality. And I firmly believe that by deferring that levy cliff out for a whole nother year takes the pressure off of us to solve it right now in this 105 days. If we were taking this vote in April because we weren't yet there on a solution, I'd vote yes. But to do it in the third week of session, to me, just sends a signal that we don't think we're ever going to get there, and I disagree with that. I think there are a lot of good proposals that are being worked through right now, and you're going to see a very strong proposal coming forward here in the next couple of weeks. And we punted it early on, and we didn't need to, and that is why I voted against it. And again, if we were finding ourselves in this situation in early to mid-April, yeah, I would have voted yes. But at this point, it's conceding to defeat, and it's ironic too because the Supreme Court. This very issue is one of the key elements in the McCleary case. And the Supreme Court has ruled time and again that the over-reliance on local levy money to fund basic education is unconstitutional. And so we defy the court yet again by doing this. And that the status quo isn't working, so why would we keep doing it? And that is why I voted no. And again, I would have done differently in April if we were up against the clock for school districts and because they do their budgeting and they've got to do their formal notices in May. It would have been a different scenario then if we needed to buy more time. But what we've done, again, is just deferred it, and I disagree with the lack of leadership on that.
Let's talk about some of the bills that you are the primary sponsor on. I'm looking at the list. You can go on the Washington State Legislature page, find your representative and the primary sponsor and secondary sponsors of all the bills that they are working on. Some of the ones that I want to talk about, this private roadway maintenance, House Bill 1024, also perhaps 1367. It looks like it is to facilitate maintenance and repair of private roadways that impact the public interest. Tell me a little bit about this.
Sure. This actually comes from constituents here in Mason County. As you know, we have a large swath of land that's unincorporated, and over many years, small developments have gone in here and there, and the only way that they could do a road was by forming an HOA, and there's a lot of them that we have in our county. There are these small HOAs, homeowner associations, that were put together simply to maintain the roads. And over the course of time, obviously, roads need to be repaired and kept up. And the financial cost to do that on a lot of these smaller developments in our county is just tremendous. Mm-hmm. And sure, they could do it through an assessment, but the problem is that that's a huge chunk of money right up front, and most homeowners can't afford that. And it's also a public safety issue. You got to have the ability for fire and police to get in there. And a lot of these roads are not up to today's standards. So what this bill basically does is it allows a homeowners association, or frankly anyone else, doesn't have to be an HOA, but you have landowners that abut a private road. They can petition the county for the county to do the work and assess on the property taxes the cost of doing that. And so it ends up they get a tax deduction for it, so there's that. But it also recognizes that equity, and instead of having to pay in a huge assessment right up front, it allows that to be spread out over a number of years through the property tax assessment. I look at it as adding a tool in the toolbox. This does not require counties to do it. Even if they get petitioned, they can turn it down. They don't have to take on a given project. And a county or city may or may not choose to financially participate. It doesn't require them to do so. So this is just providing another tool that doesn't exist under current law for municipalities to be able to do that. And that was heard in committee yesterday, and I believe it's scheduled for a vote out of committee next week, and we'll keep tracking that and moving forward. And if I can, real quick, Jeff, I wanted to bring up an item that is one of the really neat things about being in the legislature. Mm-hmm. And that is today I'll be participating in an award ceremony of the Bronze Star, which is one of the highest medals and commendations that one can receive in the armed forces for valor. And this is a situation, it's a constituent that served in Vietnam. He was in the Navy and was involved in combat, and for his actions was awarded the Bronze Star. It was toward the end of the conflict, and the Bronze Star is awarded in the name of the president. Again, it's a very high award to receive. Well, it happened towards the end of the conflict, and the Navy at the time just mailed it to him, which is pretty unfortunate, frankly. And through the American Legion, he reached out to my office and just said, here we are 40-plus years later. I'd kind of really like to, get that formal recognition. And so been working with the Navy over the last few months, and we're going to have a formal ceremony today. I have Admiral Mays, who's the Navy commander for the Navy Region Northwest, formally presenting that Bronze Star Award, and just look forward to participating in it. And this isn't about me, but this is one of those things that's really nice to help somebody out on these things. I look forward to participating in that presentation to him today.
Do you get a lot of these requests, maybe not perhaps by the main principal of the award recipient, but family saying, can we look at this a little deeper? What can you do to help us out?
I get a lot of it more related to issues they may have incurred during service that maybe didn't get fully addressed. Get a lot more of that than this side of it. I think, unfortunately, this is still a little bit of a carryover from how our armed forces were treated at the end of the Vietnam War.
Sure.
And, today you just wouldn't see that happen, frankly. And, I've participated in some Medal of Honor ceremonies that we've had at the Capitol. Washington State, we have one of the largest number of Medal of Honor recipients in the country. We do that generally in May of every year. But, yeah, these things do come up. Again, it's unfortunate. Here we are 40 years later,
yeah.
And we're still taking care of our Vietnam vets, but looking forward to having this one done, and he's very excited to have it occur too.
Well, that will be a very fun day for you in betwixt all the other conversations and committee meetings that you'll be having. 35th District Representative Drew MacEwen on the air with me this morning. Thanks, Drew, and good to talk with you.
Likewise, thanks, and have a great day.
You too.
Do you know you have access to the fastest internet in Washington State? Switch to iFiber Communications right now and take advantage of our special offers. Pay only $29.95 for 100 megabit high-speed internet, or get 3 months of internet absolutely free. That's right, $29.95 for 100 megabit speeds or 3 months of internet free. Shop, stream, and game like never before with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Call 360-427-4000 or check us online at ifiber.tv. Subject to credit approval, valid on a 24-month contract.